almost didn't throw the white flag. I was going to give you one more lap.
The 9 running on the tires. He'll slide up off of turn number 4, Jerry. You've got a new race leader, Matthew Loeb. Your race leader with 4 laps to go.
All right, who told you to tell that joke?
And welcome, everyone. It is IMCA TV DirtCast Season 2, Episode 10. It's a perfect 10 today. There's no Jerry. There's
perfect.
no Jim. And we've got some international flair with us today. Wade Aunger is in the house.
Hello. Episode. It'll be an episode. Where's Jim? Where's Jim, Brett?
Where's he at?
Yeah, what's
we'll
he
get
doing?
to that later. It's Jerry 2.0.
Oh,
Right?
no. Oh,
Wow.
we didn't bring him across
I
the
saved
globe
that
to
one.
insult him like that.
Wow. Hi, Jerry. I miss you.
We were talking about this earlier at breakfast when you had your pile of ice cream.
Alaskan waffle.
You know what an Alaskan waffle
I
is?
don't think I've heard of a blue waffle before, but not an Alaskan.
I've looked at that menu I don't know how many times in my life since that place is open. I've been there a lot, and that shocked me. I'm like, what are you ordering?
It's listed
Where
under...
did you go?
Huh?
Where did you eat?
2 and 8. I call it 2 and 8. Vinton Cafe.
They had a what is
Called the
involved with-
Alaskan waffle, and he asked, "What is an Alaskan?" I can't talk like Wade, or I would.
Yeah, what is an Alaskan waffle? And it was under diabetes as a subheading. Because, I'm telling you.
was.
Wow.
You took a picture of it though.
I did.
It is fantastic. Hey, send that picture to Nate. He'll throw it up.
I already Snapchatted it, so it's
Oh,
gone.
so
I
everybody-
think it's
Oh,
gone.
that wasn't a
Everybody
safe
knows.
photo.
Yeah, you're into that Instagram, Snapchat stuff. I don't have. I have.
That
I
talking
think
Can we
Next
Google it?
I have an Instagram, but I don't use it.
Well, Race IMCA is one of the best Instagrams that I have seen. I love it. I show everyone that drone footage from Super Nationals. You know, when that train wreck along the main stretch wall where where the flagman soiled his pants.
That'll probably appear up here at some point too.
That was so good.
I was in Boone Saturday night and had Trainwreck 2.0 as well, about the same spot. Didn't
Really?
take out the flag stand, but a very
Oh, the
similar
hobby stock.
a hobby
I
stock
must say
flip.
that.
You know what you do with a drone in America? How you're literally in the cockpit with the drivers.
Yeah.
You can't do that in Australia. You're not allowed to be anywhere near the race cars.
with a drone.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's why we're cool.
Yeah, I like the way he was doing loops over the catwalk and stuff. Remember, you
Yeah.
can't go anywhere near. You got to be a certain.
We're not, I don't. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, I don't
He
remember
did
that at all.
what?
I don't remember that at all.
He didn't do anything like that. Speaking of drones, I don't know if you saw it this morning outside your hotel. I after breakfast, I dropped you off. I was driving by the cornfield there, and there's this. I thought it's a drone, but it was so big it looked like a golf cart. It was huge. You didn't see that?
No.
Was it in the air?
I almost turned around and said, "Do you see that thing?" Yeah, it was in the air. It was a gigantic drone. It had like 4 blades on it, and it was crop dusting the field right there.
Oh.
And I've never seen that before. I almost just sat there and watched it. I was like, I'm not joking. It was probably about the size of a golf cart. It was big. It was very big. Spraying whatever insecticide or whatever it might have
Holy
been
cow.
on the field. I've never seen that before.
Advances.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
it's a changing world. But that'd be a cool drone to have. It'd scare the shit out of
Like
people.
line up on the front row of the grid.
We
Remember we raced them?
Yeah, they raced them too. Yeah,
instead of bus rides, school bus rides, we could actually give drone rides.
Ryan
drone
Ryan
Just-
could ride in the
Just put
I'd ride the
toddlers
drone.
out there on it.
the topless.
We'd get some attention. The news would love it.
yeah.
Anyhow,
I feel like Super Nationals doesn't need any more notoriety. I feel like it's the it's the gold medal standard
You
of
still have to
notoriety.
stay fresh, though. You have to bring new ideas to the
that's
table.
yeah, putting a 4-year-old on a drone would be
That would
unique.
Yeah.
Or let the 4-year-old
Or we could just
fly
put
the drone.
We could just put Jerry on
Put
it.
Jerry on the drone.
Hi,
You know-
Jerry.
Like we could just put suspenders on him, and then just hook him by the suspenders. And
It wouldn't be the first time he's worn suspenders, unless this is something different. The suspenders are like these, right?
You know more about him than I do. On
Are
that.
suspenders like these, or are
Yes.
they like with
No, these are up. Yeah, up here.
not the what do you call the stockings then? The suspenders that you wear, like ladies wear.
Oh, to hold your
Yeah.
socks up.
Yeah, well, not socks.
Stockings.
You wear them with like lingerie and stuff, you know.
isn't that like a garter belt?
Yeah, garter belt. Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with
Maybe.
that.
Suspenders are
Up
those,
here, yeah.
over your shoulder.
See Mork and Mindy? Remember Mork? and
Oh
Mindy?
yeah, it's Pam
Yes,
Dorber.
yeah.
So I was in Denver in Colorado just recently, and I looked everywhere in Boulder for Pam. She was hot.
That was a long
Indy
time
was-
ago. That was
Indy
more
was
than
hot.
Mindy's. That was in the 70s, wasn't it?
70s into the 80s. You know who
Who's
she's
that?
married to, don't you?
Someone famous, right?
Mark Harmon from NCIS.
There you go. Yes,
know that.
for a long time. Like,
Yeah, they've been together for a very long time.
speaking of, who are ageless hotties from TV, American TV? I'm going to start.
I think our opinions may differ.
I think you'll still appreciate them, though. I mean, you're going to go with Gil Gerard, who was Buck Rogers, right?
Buck Rogers,
He
yeah.
was pretty hot.
Buck
Buck
What's
Rogers,
up, Buck? Erin Gray, she was smoking hot. Remember the Doctor? She always wear like the silver cat suit kind of thing. But I'm going to start with Linda Carter, Wonder Woman.
Sure. I got to write this down. Who
Barbara
I think.
Eden.
Genie.
I Dream of Jeannie.
See, you're going. Yeah, that wouldn't be who I would.
What about Stax in BJ and the Bear? The sisters, Landers twins. Remember them?
Wow,
That's some old stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I
that's
was like,
obscure stuff.
I was probably
too.
6 when that stuff was out. You got to get into the 90s, maybe the late 80s, when I'm going to be able to tell you. Like,
Was it Minnie Driver that was in the backyard scene in Fast Times at Ridgemont High with a sprinkler?
Was it? It might have been her.
Remember that
Phoebe,
amazing?
Phoebe, remember
Phoebe, that's the one.
Phoebe.
Yes,
she
Phoebe
Phoebe
Cates.
Kate. She popped out of the pool
Yes, she did.
in what was it? That movie?
Yes, I
Fast
think
Times?
it was Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah, that's a scene that You also have a similar one on National Lampoon's European or Christmas Vacation.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So what are the?
But I don't know who that gal was.
Let's list 10 movies you can't turn off. You know when you're like it's really late, you're exhausted, and you go, I'll just turn the TV on, and you flip through, and something comes up, and you go, I can't turn that off, and I've watched it so many times. I'm going to start with Shawshank Redemption.
That's a very good movie. That's not something.
That's one.
Yeah.
What's a movie you can't turn off even though you've seen it?
See, you cite a good movie that's I'm going to be like,
I don't mind.
How about Spaceballs?
Oh
That's a
yeah.
good movie. Spaceballs is good.
I'm a mog.
I mean,
half man,
Shawshank Redemption, Spaceballs.
Well, Jerry's got. He would say Blazing Saddles. He
Oh,
watches that all the time.
yes.
I love that John Candy line in Spaceballs, and I might even said this in another podcast. He's dancing to "Raise Your Hands." I think Bon Jovi's playing, and he's
Yes.
got the flying Winnebago. It's just funny as shit. And he's like, "I'm a mog. I'm half man, half dog. I'm my own best friend." And that's kind of me. I'm probably a mog too.
Tommy Boy is another one.
Yeah.
Have you seen Tommy Boy,
I've
Ryan?
seen Tommy. Yes, I've seen.
That's going to leave a mark. I love that. Is there a mark on my face? Not so
Billy
much
Madison,
here, but
I mean-
here. Nope, no mark. God, what happened to your face?
So you went from Shawshank Redemption to a
Tommy
list
Boy?
of just crazy off the
Tommy
wall
Boy.
comedies.
Yeah. See, I'm going to be like
That was filmed in Sandusky, East Sandusky, Ohio.
Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh, yes.
Those 80s movies, Breakfast Club.
Yep.
I think the
Vanilla
movie
Ice
I've seen more than any other is because it was the first movie we got as a family on a VHS tape.
There's the crash. There's the
Trading
crash.
Places.
That's
it
the
is.
one.
Yep, there it is.
Oh, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
They looked fantastic,
Jamie Lee.
didn't they? Look at that shot there. That is
That's
that is.
insane.
I don't recall that sound of a cat being strangled in the background as the audio, but
Got it.
what a shot that is. I show so many people in Australia that on my
Nailed it.
phone. Like that's whew. Okay, Days of Thunder. Top
Yeah,
Gun.
wouldn't be one that I could turn Days of Thunder off.
I've-
Top Gun.
I've seen it once.
Not bad. See, I'd be like stuff that you don't see very often. Some they play a lot, and some they don't. Like I like The Outsiders. You know, The Outsiders?
Oh, what about the Lost Boys?
Tony Boyd.
Have you guys
Lost
seen the
Boys
Lost
was good.
Boys? Great music track. You're eating worms, Michael.
Yes. Oh yeah. See, I got Goonies on here too.
Oh,
Yeah, Goonies. I watched that not that long ago. And Beverly Hills Cop. Get the fuck out of here. No.
with like a lemon twist. You like a
Yes.
lemon twist?
I mean, there's just, I don't know. There's all kinds of.
Okay, so the ultimate you cannot turn it off is Smokey and the Bandit. I mean,
good stuff.
Jackie Gleason should have got a gold statue for. As soon as I get home, I'm gonna punch your mama in the mouth. Like, hold up on that car wash.
Can you
there,
say that
gentlemen.
in movies these days?
No.
I know.
Oh God, no.
know.
They reckon he ad-libbed so much
Oh,
of
he
that
had
stuff.
to.
Like he just made it up on the spot.
Yeah.
My hat fell off, Daddy. It's lucky your head wasn't in it. Just. Burt
Boy,
Reynolds.
so back to the women. Did you ever? I've got one wrote down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine would be like ageless, like somebody that's aged
Wait,
really
wait,
well.
Just give us a
That-
clue. What generation or what decade?
It would be
80s?
probably my age. I would assume she's about my age, maybe a little older.
Give us a
than
hint.
me.
Yeah, give
Don't
us a
tell us a
hint.
name. Give us a hint.
Wouldn't
it's-
be able to figure it out.
You won't figure it out of this movie. Another movie I'd like to watch, Red Dawn. You watch Red Dawn at all?
I don't know.
The Russians.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
invading,
Yeah, yeah.
It's got Patrick Swayze in it. It's got,
He'd be on my list.
yeah. I mean, good looking guy, for sure.
Red Dawn.
She's in it.
Okay, another movie.
She's
she
one
might
of the
be-
Here
two
was
girls
Red
in Red
Dawn, was
Dawn.
it?
She was
I don't
also in
remember.
Dirty Dancing. That's going to give it away.
Oh, Jennifer
Jennifer
Grey.
Grey.
See, I think that she, although she had surgery and changed her nose and literally made her look like a different person.
It did. Jennifer Grey.
Yes, she looked. If you go to Dirty Dancing and watch that movie, and then you look at you know,
Nobody puts baby in the corner.
yeah, you go to movie
You've got
she's
all the
in now.
one-liners.
She just says, yeah, obviously she's had surgery or whatever she did, but she's just a very beautiful person. She's very pretty.
That's very
Maybe
left of
one-
center.
That
in my
surprises me.
Yeah, that's a Ghost.
But that's not
So I'm
not
going to
like
throw Demi Moore out there because Demi is still smoking.
yeah. I've always been jealous of Ashton Kutcher. You know, he was in Cedar Rapids here. He's from this area. I don't know
Is
if you
he
knew that.
really?
He's from like right down the road, like 30
Friend of
miles.
mine, they were in town
They
a
were
week
in
ago.
Cedar Rapids like last week or something and
friend of
posted
mine
it.
waited on him at the restaurant he works at.
Yeah. So
Ashton Kutcher works at a restaurant?
No, a friend of mine waited on
They
Ashton
were-
Kutcher and his family at the restaurant.
See, that
They were-
70s show, what a great show.
yeah, I didn't watch a lot of it.
Didn't
but-
you?
No, I've seen
Red, mate. How good was Red?
Oh, that was the best
So,
character.
so Ryan, I was talking to Brett. We're not going to talk about race cars, are we? I don't want that to get in the way. Ted Lasso. Have you watched Ted
I
Lasso?
have not. I've
neither.
heard good things.
I'm
but I
gonna
haven't
now.
seen it.
Nate, you need to watch Ted Lasso. Have you watched Ted Lasso? Best show on TV.
I'm driving
Ever.
Is that
with
is that
Virginia
Jason Sudeikis?
Yes, it is.
to Texas tomorrow, so I'll probably watch Ted Lasso on my way.
While you're in the passenger seat.
Yes and no. We've talked about the Magic Box, haven't we?
Yeah, we've talked about that.
You have Magic Box? Do you have?
It's a
again in
it's a
Australia,
contraption to watch.
they call it the Magic Box, and you have screens like in the cars. They've got the screen, the touch
Mm-hmm.
screens now for the radios
Yeah.
and everything. It's called the Magic Box. You plug it into the USB port. At least it works on the Tahoe. You plug in the USB port, and it literally you can stream movies to the screen while you're driving. So you can watch Netflix, Apple TV. You can watch all kinds of shit.
So you'd glance at it while you were driving on the road.
I would watch. I don't think it's the safest thing in the world. My wife.
I was
does
kind of
this.
thinking that.
It makes me a little nervous. I say, make sure you're wearing your seatbelt.
You'd
you
be
know.
on the...
And you're on the interstate and you're not going 90. Just slow down a little bit, you know. Yes. Correct.
rumble
Hey,
strips?
babe.
That's usually when I wake up, you know, because I have a tendency to sleep a lot too in the car. I kind of like a baby.
While you're driving?
No,
Like
while
Steve,
I'm
like,
riding.
like John Candy in Planes,
don't-
Trains, and
Do you
Automobiles.
drive most of it when you go down there?
We switch every other tank of gas is what we usually do. That's our deal. So she drives, thankfully, helps. Unless I'm pulling a trailer and I got the truck, then I'm all by myself, which is a miserable 13 hours by yourself. I don't know how race car
I'm
drivers
doing that.
do it.
Doing that Wednesday to Pennsylvania. Does that
Yeah,
count?
9 hours.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
That's a great movie.
Yes.
That one never gets old.
Those aren't pillows.
How about them Yankees? Woo!
Ooh, he gets out. Ooh.
Me, myself, and Irene. Now there is a move. Jim Carrey, right?
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, you haven't? What's the matter, Mr. Happy? Wasn't enough for you? That's not mine.
Dumb and Dumber.
Next minute, he's inside the bathroom. You okay? Yeah. Just freshening up. She's hot too. Renee Zellweger, Jerry Maguire.
Jerry Maguire.
Yes.
Yeah. You had me at
Yes
hello.
and no. She wouldn't be on my list.
Really?
She just wouldn't be on my list.
Tom Cruise. Is he hot or not, Rhino?
He's a good looking dude.
Still, like,
Yeah, still. Was
Speaking
he
of Tom
60?
Cruise, you know, Top Gun 2, you know, I think
unbelievable.
it's a good movie. Top Gun is a good movie, but
Penny Benjamin.
but I lost her name. Donnelly. What's her name? The gal in the second movie.
Penny Benjamin?
Yes.
The one who plays Penny
yes,
Benjamin?
but what's her real name? It's something Donnelly. Her last name's Donnelly.
Google. What is
She got Kelly McGinnis in the first movie.
McGillis?
They didn't invite
whatever
her.
her name is.
You know why they didn't invite her back?
Yeah,
Yes.
I know, but
But she apparently hasn't aged as well as Miss Donnelly has.
Miss
But
Donnelly.
Miss Donnelly, in my opinion, is much more attractive.
Oh.
Second movie, even if you go back to the first
Smoke
Top
show.
Gun.
Yep.
Yeah,
Jennifer Connelly.
Jennifer.
Yeah. Miss Donnelly. Connolly.
Jennifer Connelly. See,
McGillis,
McGinnis.
So she's on
McGilla
your
Gorilla.
list?
I'm close.
They did a great job with that movie.
It's decent. I thought it kind of got a little far-fetched at the end when they're crashing and running from
Movies being
helicopters.
far-fetched?
I'm like, okay, now
All right.
they're starting to ruin it.
When are we talking about Jim? Speaking of movies.
When? I don't know, whenever you want to.
What do you want
So
to
where-
say about
well,
Jim?
Jim's
he's
absent.
pretty boring.
Yeah,
He's got much
but-
to talk about.
So where is Jim at the moment?
Jim is his daughter Grace graduated from high school this year, and so Jim and his wife Laura took Grace to wherever she wanted to go, and she wanted to go to L.A. So they went to L.A.
Wow.
So Jim is in L.A. today with his daughter and his wife.
Doing anything interesting?
Well, last night I called him from the races because I went out here. Obviously, you know.
I'm going somewhere with this.
I I texted him, hey, something, I can't remember what it was. And he said, can you talk? And I'm like, I'll talk after the races. So I called him after the races. I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, he didn't really want to tell me, but he's like, I'm going to go to a movie. I'm like, you go to L.A. to go to a movie? Why are you going to a movie? He goes, it's somewhere down where
Got to be Mission Impossible, right?
Where the stars are at, He sounded like it was on the boulevard.
Yeah. There's a great cinema there in Hollywood. The Chinese place.
So I think that's where
it's
he
the
was going.
Grumman's.
That's what it sounded like. They were going someplace not normal. It's not like they're going to Carmike in Cedar Rapids. They were going to someplace in L.A. that, he's like, all right. And I'm like, oh, what movie are you going to?
Throw another shrimp on the Barbie.
He's like, Barbie. I'm like, what? You're going to
Barbie?
You're going to Barbie?
Went to-
And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, are you wearing pink? And
He's like, no.
And he's like, and I hear Laura in the background go, yes, he is. I'm like, Jim, you really wearing pink? And he's like, it's not pink, Brett. It's kind of like off red.
He really was?
Yes. And she goes, it is not off red. It's pink, Jim.
Did you get a picture?
And no. I was like, can you send me a picture? He's like, nope. He won't do that.
Like
So
salmon.
he was dressed in pink going
So
to
he's,
Barbie
I don't know what he's
in LA.
wearing. I don't know what he was wearing, but it was pink. And he's going with his daughter and his wife to Barbie in LA. It just made me
I
chuckle.
should have gone on that trip.
Made me laugh.
That's like prom night without the prom.
Wow.
Really? How's that? He went to Barbie.
To Barbie.
That's where I get in trouble trying to have people who are strangers understand me because we don't roll our R's.
So it sounds like Bobby.
Barbie.
Bobby.
And the worst one is party. Right?
Party.
Are you going to party?
Potty?
Well, that's what you think I say.
So how do you
So
say-
it's like,
so
I
say
partied.
party.
Hey, let's go to a potty.
So
I'm
I'll
like,
say, no,
"Can't
I'll
you do that
say,
yourself?"
I partied really hard last night. And they go, ooh, was it Mexican?
Yeah.
So say party. Say
Check.
party.
Party.
Say potty.
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 So it's potty and potty.
Yeah. Very different things.
But we,
Not party,
Potty
and party.
Potty.
Potty.
So what were you going to say about Jim? You said you were going somewhere with
Yeah,
him.
well, he went to see Barbie.
Oh, that was it? Okay,
Yeah.
I thought maybe
Jim's
it was
on
more of a
vacation.
story.
I
So
thought
Jim's
that was
taking a
a
few
good
days off.
story.
It was a good story. I still can't picture him in pink or in LA or going to Barbie. All three of those just kind of throw my head in a weird.
he thought, well, if you're gonna do a podcast this morning, maybe I can do it from my phone, and I'll go down to the beach. And I'm like, yeah, it's just
Only
a
if
lot
you're
of
wearing
work.
pink.
Yeah,
Or a budgie smuggler.
No.
banana hammock in the United States.
Budgie smuggler.
That's enough to turn a
Budgie.
gay man straight.
So a budgie is a very small bird.
Very small.
And so it looks like a guy's going through the airport with a budgie in the front of his wife fronts, like.
But doesn't a banana? I would think that if you're gonna describe yourself, I have a banana hammock on, not a small bird smuggler.
Why am I the one that's uncomfortable with this conversation topic, and the two of you are just freely discussing
I mean,
it?
it's fun.
I think the term freely isn't really correct either, is it? Remember Seinfeld, that episode in Seinfeld? It's like, my boys need a house. Remember that? It was like when they're talking about boxes or
Oh my
boys
God.
need a
My
house.
boys need a house.
what a great show. What an iconic show.
That was very good.
MASH, I cannot not watch MASH.
MASH is good.
I have seen it so. My goal in my life, please, if anyone knows him, I really want to meet Alan Alda. That's my bucket. It used to be Robin Williams. That's no longer possible. Alan Alda and Stephen King are the two people I would most like to meet in my life.
In the MASH years, did you like the early years or the later years? They went through a lot of character
Well, I
changes.
liked Winchester and I like Frank. I like Colonel Blake and I liked Colonel Potter. I did hear that Colonel Potter was like a very aggressive man as well in life. You know how he got angry sometimes when he would really yell and stuff?
Right.
That apparently he was a bit
What
domestic like
what
that.
Colonel Potter off of?
MASH.
MASH. Harry Morgan.
See, now I'm
Right,
kind of
Harry
stuck.
Morgan.
Yeah.
I didn't watch a lot of MASH. My dad was a Hogan's Hero guy.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
good.
My dad used to watch Hogan's Heroes a lot.
I know nothing.
I know nothing.
I saw
They lift the bed up and they go down into it. I'm like, I need that in my house.
I listened to a radio interview with Werner Klemperer.
Oh.
And Werner
Sergeant-
was...
Oh, that was
No,
Colonel,
that was
Colonel Klink.
That was Colonel Klink. And he was actually a classically trained actor. And he hated doing that show because the Germans looked like such dickheads in that. And he didn't like the fact that it was,
He was a dickhead?
portrayed that the Americans had it all over the Germans. So he wasn't very happy. I'm sure he enjoyed the paycheck, but
Sure.
yeah.
And that show didn't really last all that long.
So do you
just
know,
3 or 4 years.
I was in a wedding, filming a wedding 2 days ago in Pella for my friend Craig Ford, who lends me that Jeep that has 14,000 miles on it every time I drive it. And banana cream pie. I didn't think that was a real thing. I thought that was a made-up thing on Gilligan's Island. It's real. You can get banana cream pie, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, well, you know how... okay, so this is a good one, only for you probably. So, Marianne?
Ginger. For sure.
Ginger?
Wow.
Most people say Marianne.
Didn't even hesitate. Marianne has that little girl next door quality, not that,
Yeah, I'd be more of a Ginger.
faster. She had that Marilyn Monroe.
You
but
still have a chance because Ginger's the only remaining living cast member.
Is
from
she
Bel Air
really?
Design.
Yeah, I mean, we won't go into details as to why.
Tina
but-
Louise. I think she's still
Yes,
alive.
that's
She's
right.
like 90.
But banana cream pie. First time I saw that, I was so excited. I was like, holy cow, it's a real thing.
Why did you question it?
I just thought it was another Hollywood thing.
Oh,
So if you had one person that
Yeah.
you wanted to meet,
Yeah, Ryan.
boy.
who would you want to meet?
one
Who would it
person?
be? Yeah, if you could meet one person.
That's a tough question.
Isn't it, though?
I would
That's
have
why I
to-
thought it was interesting.
I would have to have time to think about that.
But it's cool
Because I
when you
think-
don't think about
yeah.
it. You just kind of, it's the
I don't
first
really
thing that
know.
comes to your head.
Nothing.
What
came
about
to
you,
mind.
Ruda?
I don't know. I don't even know either. I mean,
He
I
already,
don't know, movie stars or famous, they have to be
Yeah, I mean-
alive, right? Live or dead, does
Yeah,
it matter?
I think probably he should be alive because that makes it a little easier.
It wouldn't be a very engaging meeting if they were dead.
Like Robin Williams was like someone
Robin
I really
Williams
wanted to
would have
meet.
been
I
great.
wanted to thank him.
Oh, he's a fantastic comedian and actor, and
Quick-witted, just hysterical.
His book was quite amazing too. Like he was a loner, in his house. He didn't have a poor existence or anything like that. He just had no one to play with.
Right.
Like his parents had a big house, and he used to just be in the house by himself. So he kind of learned to entertain himself.
what's your favorite Robin Williams movie?
Oh,
I know this one. I've got this.
Well, Patch Adams was pretty phenomenal. But let's go through a couple because
See, I'm like Mrs. Doubtfire just because it's
Oh.
one that's all. It's again, it's one of those.
on the way, dear.
Yes, it's one of those. If it's on TV and you're flipping the channels
Yeah,
late at
that's a
night,
good
it's
one.
like,
Watch it.
oh, you got to stop and see what part it's on.
Sally Field was still pretty hot in that movie.
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan played a really good dick.
There's a Smokey and the Bandit too, as well.
Oh, she was smoking in that.
She was young.
Take
then.
your hat off.
Yep.
Yeah, she was
Catherine.
young.
So what other
Catherine
what other
Bach.
Robin Williams? Because he did
Catherine Bach,
Good Morning
Daisy
Vietnam.
Dukes.
Good
Yes.
Morning Vietnam was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Can we just bring up the
He played Popeye. That was one of the first movies I
Yeah.
saw in a theater back in the late
good,
70s,
good,
early
good.
80s.
Filmology? Can you just drag up Filmology on your phone and let's look at
The
some.
Birdcage, I'd have to put that up
Oh,
there.
Nathan Lane.
Nathan Lane and him.
How good was that? His stand-up comedy was just in next level, wasn't it? Intense. Remember he said that all cats are drag queens? Who loves Kitty? Who loves Kitty? There's some phenomenal Letterman appearances. He used to just go and just take over. Like Johnny Carson, he just used to slay Johnny Carson. How many you got? What do we got? Tell me.
I can't find anything good here. These are all
Well, look at Jerry on the screen.
voiceover work, and
Look at Jerry on the screen there.
Jerry.
he's always got to work his way in, doesn't he?
Looks so serious.
He does. Why so? In fact, why so serious? You can't get a shot of that, can you? What's with the story with that? With the Heath Ledger sort of thing there?
The Joker.
Yeah.
Brandon Tharp. Brandon
Yeah,
Tharp.
yeah.
He led most of the race last night
Yeah.
here in town. Got second to.
Oh, he used to have that on his
Olsen
car,
last-
yeah.
He had that on the nose
That's
of his
right.
car.
Why
We
so
had a theme, and he also had
Superhero.
a
Jerry
superhero
and
theme.
I as Batman and Robin.
Yeah, he you Robin.
Yeah,
Jerry
well,
was Batman.
I'm
And
the
for some
blue
reason,
one.
I get pinned on the Joker. So I thought it was funny, and I was like,
Yeah.
so they printed it up for me and put it on a piece of aluminum.
Very
I didn't even ask him to do that. I thought that was kind. I like shit like that.
useless trivia.
It's like the one in the back here with me and the Darth Vader. That was on.
That is mean.
That was on. I think Jimmy Gustin's helmet or something like that. Jimmy Gustin's a big Star Wars fan. If you
Is
know
he
that,
really?
As am I. But yeah, he had that. Somebody, I think at Chris at Capitol Signs in. Is it Ames technically?
Ames, yeah.
Ankeny.
technically, I think.
Ankeny. No, it's Ankeny.
Ankeny?
He's in Ankeny. He had did this drawing here, and so I saw it, and I'm like, "That's really
pretty
cool.
cool.
Can you print that for me?" He's like, "Yeah." So I don't ask people to do
So
this stuff.
Star Wars, the new stuff,
I'm not a big Mandalorian or Baby Yoda or any of that
the
kind of
first
stuff.
3 were epic. Like
Yeah,
the first
I'm
3 for
still
me.
stuck
Not
on
Phantom Menace
The
and that
first
shit
3
like
is
that.
in episodes
Right.
4
The
through
real
6,
ones.
right?
Yeah, the
Correct.
real ones.
The second trilogy, which is the first trilogy.
How hot did Carrie Fisher look in Return of the Jedi?
I mean, when she's chained
yes.
to Jabba the Hutt, I mean, holy schmoly. Yeah.
Smoking.
Yeah, then
I
she
follow Mark
strangles him
Hamill
with
on
a
it.
chain.
Instagram, you should do Instagram more because that's where you can actually follow like people of interest, Like Mark Hamill has a really interesting
Does he?
page. Yeah. Even Erin from Bewitched. You remember little Tabitha?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like she's and Erica Eleniak. She was my favorite Baywatch girl, and she was in Under Siege. Remember in Under Siege?
She's
2,
also in Playboy.
when she came out of the birthday cake for Steven Seagal. Remember that?
She was.
How about those race cars?
Do you still want to know
Damn
where
right.
Robin Williams was, or what?
Yeah. What are the movies?
Did you say you said Patch Adams?
Yes, that was.
Goodwill Hunting.
Oh, that's great, isn't it?
Yeah,
Matt Damon and
That's
him.
a very good movie.
That was the breakthrough for Matt Damon, and was it Ben Affleck?
They
Yes.
wrote that,
Yeah.
didn't they? Write
Yeah.
that?
That was theirs, and that was their major breakthrough in Hollywood.
Yep.
Jack.
Do you
the
like Matt
Birdcage.
Damon or Ben Affleck more?
Oh, Matt Damon's cool. Have you seen him do Matthew McConaughey, ripping Matthew McConaughey off on Letterman? Oh, God. He's like, Mr. Soderbergh, it's awfully hot down here in Texas. I think we should take a shirt off. He does this really good.
Yeah, Matt Damon is
He's cool as hell.
from an actor standpoint. Probably has
more
more
credit.
movies, more credit, more stuff.
He was cool in Ferrari
Ben
versus
Affleck's good,
Ford
though,
versus
but-
Ferrari.
But Ben Affleck's married to Jennifer Lopez not once but twice. So I mean,
How good is Salma Hayek looking these days? Wow.
You just
Segue.
drop these names out like, man, I can't keep up with you.
I hope my wife don't watch this
Well,
episode.
I've
Pretty
got
sure
one more.
she's not.
I've
Yeah,
got
yeah.
one more Robin Williams.
Yeah, keep going.
And it animated
Oh,
Aladdin.
yeah.
He played the genie.
And wasn't
That
he
was
in
very
like
good.
Flubber or something like that, like a really crap animated
He
sort
might
of?
have
And he was a little, genie or something, wasn't he as well? Yeah. Well, what other movies? Because he made some unbelievably great films.
I don't know.
Do you know how he started his career though? So Happy Days, right? The producer of Happy Days, they got to a
that was when
point.
it jumped the shark.
Yeah, they got to a point where they had so many storylines they'd used up, and the producer was like, "What are we going to do to get a new storyline?" He asked his 8-year-old kid, "What are we going to do? What would you like to see on the show?" And he said, "A spaceman." And Robin Williams created Mork as a one-off appearance in Happy Days, and it rated so well that they created a spin-off show for it.
Crazy.
It is nuts.
I'd like to meet Kevin James, King of Queens. He's hilarious.
So yours is all actors then. People you want to meet.
I met Gene Simmons from Kiss.
Politicians,
That was super cool. He was my hero.
Politicians, famous people outside of acting.
I'd like to meet Monica.
Entertainers.
I can't come up with anybody.
See, I think it would
I'd
be
really have
interesting
think
to
about it.
meet, like, again, like, Elon Musk or
Really?
Jeff Bezos, just from the standpoint of, like, don't you ever wonder what their days are like? You ever wonder that? Like, what is his day like? How does he possibly manage his days? How many layers of people does he have between him and actually shit getting done? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, Jeff Bezos is not programming computers.
I would assume
I
the
would
calls
say,
they get
you know what I mean?
isn't probably like labor intensive or really that.
If you finally get through.
Yeah, I don't think their days are.
He
that-
makes Teslas, right, Elon?
Yeah.
Remember how you talked about how you were offsetting the carbon footprint
do.
in that big monster truck that you drive?
Absolutely.
So why
I
would
mean,
you
I
want
don't
to
have
see
any-
him? You want to just walk up and say, hey, Elon, that's for your Tesla.
Elon was like one of the guys, the founders of PayPal.
Can
I
you
think.
pixelate
I mean,
my finger then,
he's-
Nate? That probably seemed
he's-
really offensive. Can you just...
He's had his hands in lots of very successful things, and if obviously it's kind of shaped
Yeah, you're right.
He's
culture, shaped the economy, shaped.
doing a great job at destroying Twitter.
Yeah, I mean all that
Stuff
kind
like
of
that,
stuff. You hear that, it's changing its logo to X and it's from a bird. I'm like, geez, does he have permission to use the X? You know what I mean? Because how many other things probably have X as a logo or something? Good thing it doesn't have an R behind it, or Elon would be toast.
You can tell him that when you see him.
Okay, I will. Yeah, I will. That's exactly what I'd say to him. As
I
we're
got-
cruising on his
I
boat. Does
didn't
Elon
think-
have a boat?
I didn't think Jim was here
Bezos
today,
does.
Brett.
Yeah. Bezos has a boat, but
He'd have a ship, wouldn't he?
he does. He has
He'd have
like
a
a
ship.
super yacht or whatever it is.
I got to meet my childhood hero and interview him. Gene Simmons from Kiss.
Yeah.
Got a big...
You got to interview
I
him?
got ink on my shoulder, big his face on my right shoulder. Yeah, I did. I got to interview him. I got to thank him for the music, the effect his music had on my life.
See,
I had to interview Kiss and then one-on-one with him.
Because you went back last year to Australia after being in the States
Yeah.
to see Kiss before you came back to Supernatural.
Yeah, and thank God they were amazing. Thank God.
first concert I ever went to was Kiss.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Whereabouts?
Cedar Rapids, 5 Season Center is what they called it at the time.
What year was that?
It would have been 80s. late 80s.
So still Maker? Oh no, late 80s was like not Maker.
Right. You see, I
Were
went
they
to
not
a,
makeup?
Lick it up
I
sort of
think
era.
they went to a I think it was the non-makeup version that, if I recall, it was non-makeup because it wasn't. Simmons has done blood and all that kind of stuff in costume, which is pretty cool.
That would have been Bruce Kulick
But-
and Eric Carr and those guys with them.
Exactly. See, and if I had to pick a Kiss member, I'd pick Paul Stanley because I think Paul Stanley I just think he had a cool voice. I mean, a lot of their songs.
He's a very
are sung
good
by-
painter. He's actually a phenomenal an artist. He
He
paints.
just, I just thought he was the best member of Kiss, even though Gene Simmons is probably the most recognizable. Most popular.
money hungry,
Whatever.
entrepreneurial.
Yeah, everything is licensed.
Longest tongue.
Some people said to me last year when I was flying back home for the Kiss concert that, Kiss comes to America too, right? And I was like, yeah, I know. But I had tickets for 3 years because of the COVID thing, and I wanted to take my sons.
How long were they? I mean, do they appear regularly in Australia? Or
No.
I was going to say, you have to see them at home if you have the opportunity. So that makes sense.
So I saw them in Detroit, Tiger Stadium in '96, the very first reunion back with Ace and Peter. And Alice in Chains supported, and the guy was so ripped in Alice in Chains. I think they just gaffer taped him to the microphone. He just stood there. That was a great show, but he just never moved. I think he was so messed up, they just taped him to the microphone. And he stood there.
I went to a concert like that not that long ago.
Did you?
Yeah, you probably will get a kick out of this. I went to I just lost his name. Pat Green. Not Pat Green. Yeah. He's a country music singer, right?
Yeah, he's the one from Texas.
The Wave on Wave
song.
guy.
Yeah,
Does
Pat
the
Green.
Wave on Wave stuff.
Oh, okay.
I think it's Pat Green. Is that right?
Pat Green. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think so.
For some reason I drew a blank immediately. I went to his concert because he had a concert after the Hawkeye game in Iowa City at a First Avenue Club or whatever is downtown.
Yeah,
Tiny
right.
little cool bar in Iowa City. And he came in, and we had, my wife's a huge Pat Green because he's from Waco. She's a huge Pat Green fan, and so she got meet and greets with him, right? So we did meet and greets, and he was just blasted.
Huh.
He was drunk, but he still, I don't know how you can get up there and sing and remember the words. And it was a decent concert, but, you could tell he was at a Hawkeye game all day long.
So on Tuesday, and you're going to be away because there's an event, Tuesday, August 8 at Knoxville, we have a Nationals kickoff party for the Knoxville Nationals in the square in Knoxville. And it's a big car show, and guys bring their race cars, and we have a Moonshine bar there, and it's super cool. And this year's special guest for NOS is Steel Panther. Oh, wow. And I don't know if you know anything about Steel Panther.
I don't.
But they're playing cover songs because NOS have requested that they don't play their classics, one of which is called Gang Bang at the Old Folks Home. So you can understand that it's not necessarily a broadly accepted form of music. They sound great, but some of the songs are...
NOS?
Yeah. So
Energy drink?
It's a NOS energy drink kickoff party.
Oh, gotcha. All right.
So they're like, well, maybe Steel Panther can sing some cover songs. Imagine if they covered
None of
Steel
their-
Panther, got Gang Bang at
None
the
of
Old
their
Folks Home.
original music.
That's really a song, by the way. You need to Google some Steel. They sound great. Remember The Darkness? Like that guy, The Darkness?
There's all kinds of cool songs that are, well, I don't know if
Completely
that necessary is cool.
Yeah, I had a request
Google.
out here during the fair for, was it WAP?
Oh, yeah, you get whopped.
I can't play that.
WAP
I
or-
can't play
Well, you know who's got that on the back of his car, right?
Oh, yeah. That is the 93.
Michael Jeanette.
Yeah, the 93
Yeah.
Jeanette.
One that comes to my mind is Dick Down in Dallas.
Yeah.
Have you heard that song before?
Dick down in Dallas?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a good song. It's
Is
kind
it?
of country. Yeah.
How is my mate Chubby Shaw going? He is one of
Chad
my
Shaw?
he is one of my favorite IMCA racers because he's just out there like Pluto. I show everybody the first interview I ever shot with him, and I walked up to him. I said, "Man, I really do like your hot rod." He goes, "Thank you, sir, Chubby Shaw, Trimble, Missouri." And I was like, And he goes, "In the words that we come from, it's not see you later, it's war at you." And I was like, "Wow."
Huh?
Yeah. So we were both doing that. I would throw something at him, and he'd look at me like,
What'd you say?
and then he'd throw something back, and I'd go,
What'd you say?
yeah. But he's a cool cat. I really like Chubby. Fun guy. What's that on your table in front of your laptop?
That's my lunch.
Peach. You haven't tried it yet, Rhino?
Well, I haven't. When
Can we
was
do it on...
It disappeared last night at the racetrack.
There's a shot
so
glass right there near the other Moonshine bottle.
Do you want to try it?
I think we should.
I'll try it. I have to drive back to Des Moines, though, so I can't have too much.
So this is going to be our Super Nationals bottle this year. That's not the label. It's a retro label we use for it. We've got a new modified bottle, a new stock car bottle for your A-mains like we did last time. And we've got a fan bottle with a really cool Byron Fichter picture, a sunset
Every
picture.
picture he takes is really
He's
cool.
amazing, isn't he? He's my favourite Canuck by a mile.
You want to dust that shot glass out before you...
Do you need to? I'm really excited. The peach
Yeah,
is
blow in it.
There's
Yeah.
no dead flies in it.
the peach is way better than
me clean it
anything
out with
we've
my
done
shirt.
before. Yeah, it's way better
The
than
alcohol
anything.
will kill whatever's
Yeah.
Indeed, it will.
Heck yeah, it will.
You're gonna do this, Ryan?
I'll do it.
It says super drunk, fueled by alcohol.
I'll compliment my energy drink well.
I'm going to Monticello today. I've never been there. I went to Makokata yesterday.
You just want a little like that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Is that enough?
Well, it's not even worth going through the motion.
You want it
Good
full?
man.
Oh,
He wants it.
sweet Jesus!
Okay, that's enough.
I'm not gonna be held responsible.
Oh geez, fill it up. Good work.
I haven't
Can you
drank
smell the
it.
peach in that, Brady?
A little, yes.
Good.
Oh boy.
You wanted that much.
I like to mix it. I don't like to drink it like that. I like to put it
And
in
mix
ice.
it with my
Mix it with
strawberry.
what?
So
Gatorade?
7-Up, Starry, Sprite, and a drink that we could never have in Australia called Squirt.
Clean your sinuses out.
You never squish your face up, so it mustn't have been too bad.
Yeah.
I don't like to drink it straight like that, but people do.
That's actually pretty smooth.
Thank you. That was the plan. So it goes really well with Starry, Sprite, 7-Up, Squirt, that kind of stuff, you know?
Why is my heart pounding out of my chest now?
You want to try an Alaskan waffle.
Yeah, it is.
Then you-
Burns.
Kind of makes you feel warm from the ears down.
It does.
We're doing a butterscotch one in October,
Ooh.
November as well.
Really, you get all the
Do
new
a
flavors.
cherry one.
Cherry.
Can I make a recommendation?
Sure.
Only because lately I drink a lot of cherry limeades. You ever had a cherry limeade?
I have not.
Cherry vodka.
Cherry Coke was a bad idea.
Cherry
What
vodka.
were they thinking?
But cherry limeades are
I
good.
don't
Cherry
mind cherry
limeade, 7-Up,
Yep.
a
Goes with
little,
anything.
little bit of grenadine to give it a little
Ooh.
bit more.
Oh.
Sugar
Grenadine.
cherry
You don't like grenadine?
Ooh la la.
and a lime.
Little-
Just squish a lime in it. It's
Yes.
good. Cherry limeade. My wife makes them all the time. So she kind of got me hooked on them.
Why are you putting the cork back in that?
That's the first one in captivity in Vinton, by the way. And tomorrow,
Really?
we're at Vinton Dollar Fresh Market. I got to say, big thank you. Dollar Fresh Market, we are in 14 stores now across Iowa in Dollar Fresh.
That's pretty good because that's about most of them, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
most all of them.
When you messaged me, I don't know how long ago it was, maybe a month or so ago, you said something about, hey, whereabouts or how far are you from Vinton? I'm like,
You,
I know.
I'm in Vinton. Oh, really?
Yeah. I can't work out the geography. It was hard to. Makokata. I got to think Makokata.
Makokata.
That was a nice little place. And then Monticello today.
Monticello.
And then tomorrow, Vinton, Dollar Fresh Market. And Justin Walker is coming.
have his hobby
Waka.
stock there.
Yeah.
Hobby stock race. You raced a sport mod for 1 or 2 years, didn't
Yeah,
you?
a couple of years. Yeah, you're going.
He's been racing for a long
And
time.
Mitch Bielenberg showed up yesterday.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
You're famous, so you just draw all the celebrities.
Then his grandparents.
Supernational
Then his
stamp.
grandparents showed up a bit later on
Mitch
with,
Bielenbergs?
with this shirt on. His grandma showed up with that shirt on. God bless her.
you saw him in Makokata?
Yeah, he came in to say hello.
'Cause he's from Charlotte.
He won. Yes, 109 people there. 109. Yep.
Is he won Supernational?
He won it,
2 years ago.
He won at Makokata the night before. I said, "You going to Vinton?" No, I got to get up at 5 a.m.
He used to race here weekly back when he first started
Did
racing.
he really?
Yep.
Didn't you say you watched his dad or his granddad race or something
I
like
think
that?
I think his dad. Unfortunately, I think he passed away.
Yeah, he
here
did.
in the pit area. Yeah, he had a.
But I think
medical situation.
you watched him. You watched like his grandparents or his granddad or someone race or something.
I don't know that. Yeah, I know he raced religiously with his dad.
He's funny because he's the guy. One of the guys I remember because he got out of the car and he said to me, "Have you ever wrestled a crocodile or a kangaroo?" And I was like, "This guy's special. I like this."
pretty cool dude.
Who was the guy? I was telling Brett. Who was the guy that wouldn't do boon shakalaka? You'll know straight away. The only guy that wouldn't. Nate,
Joel
do you remember?
Bashore?
Who?
Is it Joel Bashore?
No, that doesn't sound
Cody
familiar.
Laney?
Maybe.
It was a modified driver.
Yeah, he just flat out refused.
He's like, no, I'm not going to say that.
Yeah, wouldn't. Just
Nope. I need paid to say that.
correct. He was very serious young man.
I'm trying to think who it might have been.
It's a super national.
Ethan Dotson.
It's a very serious.
There you go.
race.
Ethan Dotson.
Yes.
I think that's who it was.
I think you're right.
Ethan wouldn't say it.
he wouldn't say it.
And I got
Can't
a
make
hoodie.
me.
I wore a hoodie that, of course, I got from old mate that wears the Woody race suit that came out from California.
Flippo.
Yeah, Jerry Flippo.
He lives in Iowa now.
Yeah,
Yes, he does.
He's a
Everybody moves here. Like Taylor Cool moved here, right?
transit.
Hang on, careful now.
No, I'm not going there. Transplant. That's the word I was looking for.
transplant. Oh yeah, transplant.
Yeah, there's a lot of
West Coast transplant.
California. Yeah, there's a lot of West Coast people, Arizona people, California people moving to either Texas or Iowa, both. Some Iowans moving to Texas. My wife wants to move to Texas.
Back to Texas?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, that's just hanging in the air, isn't it?
Well, I thought he was going to say
In case
more. It's
anybody
like,
wonders.
It's just hanging in the air.
Yeah.
Wow. You gonna move to Texas, Ryan? No,
I'm not. No.
I will not.
No, me neither.
I drove through Texas the other day to get to Denver because we have
You flew to Dallas, didn't you?
Yes,
Did you see Dallas while you were in Dallas?
I did.
You dick down in
Yeah.
Dallas?
No, I didn't see Nick down in Dallas.
Just curious.
Did you see Debbie?
Or Debbie. No, Debbie wasn't
See
there
Debbie.
either. No, Debbie wasn't there. There's another classic you can't go past, really.
Whenever it's on, you can't turn it off.
Yeah, it's on all the time.
Super Nationals coming up soon,
It is.
right?
That's a
Yes.
segue.
Steak sandwiches. Now, somebody said to me, we were talking about steak sandwiches. That seems to come up as a Super Nationals thing. I got to say, they are the best steak sandwiches I've had at any racetrack anywhere on the planet. $10, right? $10?
$10.
Yeah, something like that.
So it's funny because I was talking to Bielenberg's mate. I think he's Logan. I think he helps on the car, and we were just talking about
You need a drink.
steak sandwiches. Sure. And I said, I think the record is 27, isn't it? Someone had 27.
I think that was.
was that Shane Davis that did
Oh,
that?
I don't know.
To the guy I was telling, I said 27. Ricky goes, man, that's a lot of change. I'm like, I was thinking more that's a lot of flesh to have in your body, not so much
it's a lot of-
$270.
It's a lot of protein.
Do you want one?
After you. After you.
You already did one.
Get your own
After
shot.
you.
Get your own shot glass.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I'm officially working. I better not do that.
Wow. Officially working.
Oh.
I'm really proud of this. The peach one is really good.
I thought it tasted very good.
Yeah.
You can't sip it.
No, but
You
that's
couldn't
the
just
plan.
savor the taste.
That's the plan. Yeah.
So what's a favorite peach flavored drink or mixer? I don't know what you would.
What
call
we
it.
mix this with?
Yeah,
So I said that before. Sprite, Squirt.
you can mix everything with.
We don't have a drink in Australia called Squirt.
Do you do like
A couple of people have requested it, and I was like, "Thank you, ma'am. That just made my day." What do you want to mix this with? I'll take a squirt. I'm like,
Can you
yes,
give me a squirt with?
yes, you will.
orange juice or cranberry juice?
I think you can mix
or-
it with anything. Yeah,
Oh,
our
orange
butterscotch
juice.
one when that gets here, because we have that in Australia now. My friend who's a top fuel racer, he mixes it with Coke because Coca-Cola, just to clarify, because it tastes like vanilla
Not the
Coke
booger sugar?
that way. Booger sugar, the Colombian marching powder. There's just nothing off the table in this podcast, is there?
I have a thing over here, but it takes too
rim
long.
shot.
I am
Yeah.
from Colombia.
I don't know if it did it play. I don't know. Anyhow.
We need to do. I need to do a tour of Australians for next year's Super Nationals. Okay, I need to get Aussies to come over. Where would they stay? If we got 30 people to come and watch this, because I think that we could, where would I put them?
That's a good question.
Because our
We'd have to plan
B&B at
Wouldn't
IMCA TV, Nate's probably not going to cut it, is it?
No,
My camper sleeps too.
my camper sleeps like
Like-
3. I don't know. That would be the logistics would be a problem.
That would be the big issue. Do you know what we did do? So you have impacted our other worlds through Super Nationals, through my experiences there. So the Knoxville Nationals last year, the amazing Miss Emily, she sang the national anthem at the Knoxville Nationals and blew people away.
Yep.
Now, I recorded her singing the anthem at her house in Grimes with her mum, who's amazing. Like, just, my goodness, that lady's amazing.
Yep.
And we recorded it, and I played it at every round of Sprint Car Speed Week on the giant screen in Australia this year.
That's cool.
That was the anthem. And so Sheldon Hordenshield was down there racing, and Tony Bockoven come down, and Tony was sitting next to me in the booth in tears. Like, it was just... it was super special. When I met Emily that time in the booth up there with Grumpy Paul and everybody up there, that was super
Who's Grumpy
cool.
Paul?
Yeah, who's Grumpy Paul?
You know who Grumpy Paul is. We all know who Grumpy Paul is. He's that very unhappy man, but he's very funny. He's got a biting
Grumpy
humor.
Paul's a pretty good guy.
He's like Tom Segura. He's very biting with his humor.
He is. Correct.
I think he's the reason we had the cuss jar in the VIP booth.
Probably.
Do you think we could do like Nate was talking about doing like American Idol or something like that, or America's Got Talent?
Are you writing this stuff down, Nate? That American Idol? I like that idea.
The America's Got Talent thing would be hell. Imagine if someone could juggle, or they could ride like a unicycle, or someone in our pit area, someone that's got a hidden talent.
Well, I know Tommy Gunn rides a unicycle. You know who Tommy Gunn is, don't you?
Tommy Gunn.
I've heard the name.
Great name.
I don't really know what his real name is.
Where's he from?
Boone. He hung out with John Logue for years and years and years.
Okay.
Hung out with Strickler for a while. I don't know if you know.
The Highline Tickler?
The high side.
High side tickler.
Line side, same
Yeah,
thing.
same thing. I reckon.
Tickles, no
just
matter
a
what
letter.
you call it.
He's not French, is he, though?
I don't think so. I think he's North Carolinian.
He didn't get it.
French
Yes,
ticklers.
I did get it. Yes, I did. Come on now. We've all bought those things in the gas station. Oh, come on. In the gas station or at the truck
In
stop.
the truck stop.
It's like, what in the heck is that thing with spikes?
That looks like a good time.
I have missed you
Oh
guys
my
so
God.
much.
Seriously.
You go
Jerry,
to the gas
I miss you,
station for
Jerry.
those?
Yeah, I mean.
And to meet
this
exciting
is
new
getting off
people.
the rails bad, but, I mean,
Was it ever on the rails when we started this?
my golly. No, not really. But anyhow,
Correct.
how did we get to...
So how am I going to put these people from Australia in Super Nationals accommodation-wise? Because that's going to be an issue.
We'll have to...
We need to think about that, right? What would be the
yeah, we're gonna
nearest
have to
town where
plan
you
a-
could stay?
A little Ames.
Ames would be.
Okay.
Ames, and depending on whether it's a football weekend or not, in Ames or in Iowa City would really
Where is
kind of
it
matter.
this year? Is it in?
I
It's
think
in
it's-
Ames.
Is it in
I
Ames?
think it's in
Snakes
Ames,
and sparklers.
I think.
Getting it in Ames during the football game would be
Right.
probably harder. And you talking about the whole week,
Yeah.
If they're going to come that far, I would
Yeah,
think they'd want
yeah.
to come the whole week.
like
Yeah.
Monday through Saturday?
And I would also like to see whether we could find teams that would want to lease a ride for an Aussies to drive in it. Would there be teams that would have enough cars that sit in there and go, you can run my car and this is be the deal? Do people lease their cars out?
At Super Nationals, I don't know. That might be a little more challenging to accomplish, just from the standpoint of most of the guys who are there. If they have multiple cars, they're racing, and they want them as their backup just in case they tear their stuff up. And then it's so serious at Super Nationals, you're going to have a guy that's a little bit maybe relaxed on his stuff getting damaged.
While that stuff's going on in the
Usually
background.
Backup car.
Yeah, I
Okay,
do
there
too.
is a
Oh, there's a
stock
stock
car.
car, is there?
There's a stock
Yours,
car.
you got one, haven't you?
Yeah. I've got a.
Ain't nothing stock about a stock car.
Correct.
I don't want to offend you.
I have
Just saying. So I got a little love up for a second for NATO and Grano and all the team and Ian and Garrett and all those guys. That your IMCA TV crew do a phenomenal job during Super Nationals. I don't think people realise how hard, how draining what they do to keep it interesting and keep it fresh is phenomenal. It's one of the best TV crews, not because Nate's sitting there on the other side of the window, but I got to say it's one of the best TV teams I've ever worked with.
Yeah, they do a fantastic job. And to put it into perspective, there's probably at least two, maybe even almost 3 times as many people on the TV side of the Super Nationals as is on the IMCA side of it.
Yeah, right.
There's we've only got 11 full-time employees. We all usually go to Super Nationals. We pull in a couple of tech guys from out of state that Dave handpicks who he wants helping him. But we don't have a huge staff. The TV side of stuff has a much bigger staff already, much larger staff.
Yeah.
It's that complicated. It really is. I mean, they put together a really good production team and camera guys, and then you throw the drone guy into the mix, and then all the stuff that Nate's doing, and all the stuff that Garrett does, all the stuff that Chris does. Yeah, we're very fortunate.
And they're all very easy to work with. I mean,
They are. Even when I go in there and feel like the Tasmanian devil, and I have my moments. Nate can confirm.
What was that? Oh, that was Brett. That was the Ruda.
And then I come back. I usually come back and apologize.
usually.
I do.
Unless I'm really
The
pissed
last
off.
one that I remember doing, I was like, hey, I'm really sorry if I made an ass of myself. But like everybody, we're all passionate about what we do.
And you get tired. Like, dude, you
Oh.
get tired. Like, that is a long week for everybody. Everybody.
Yeah, I don't sleep much that week.
What day did the late models run?
Monday.
Right. So I remember being there on the Sunday / Monday morning, and I was with Kevin, I think, at the time, and I said, "What's going on?" Because the race meeting had finished. It was like 1:30 in the morning, and the late models are all lined up. He's like, "Oh, the late model guys just want to get some hot laps before tomorrow / today." These are the things I tell my friend. Okay, and then the late models come out at 1:30 in the bloody morning to get 3 laps, so they're ready for the next night.
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't happen everywhere else, right? It's a very unique animal.
Yeah. It's cool.
It's
fun
cool
to be a part of.
And no yellows. Like, get out of the way. You spin, get your ass out of the way.
It's kind of like motorcycle racing. Seriously.
I hadn't thought of it that way.
It is, though.
Yeah.
Because we have people say that to us all the time. You're gonna hurt somebody. You're gonna, leaving a car sit on a racetrack like that. I'm like, well, geez, you go to an AMA Supercross race and you got guys laying on the racetrack and they just throw a little yellow little flag and slow everybody down and kind of.
Oh, so motocross, you mean like that? Right? Because flat track, they don't do it like that.
No, not flat track. I'm talking jumping.
Motocross.
Yeah, Supercross, motocross, indoor, outdoor, whatever it is. But they're laying on the ground, a case of jump and over the handlebars and break a collarbone, and they're laying on the racetrack, and they just kind of like grab them by the foot and pull them off and keep going. They do. I mean, in racing, everybody's like, oh, red flag, stop. Everybody can't, whoa.
You used a term just then that's another one that's one of those anomalies in Australia compared to what you say here. Like Tony Bockhaven says, I'm pulling for you, when he's talking about supporting drivers and stuff.
Right. That's not a bad.
No,
that's not a good thing.
He commented on someone's Facebook page, a friend of ours. He's like, I'm pulling for you. And I went, yeah, I had messaged him. I said, hey, you might want to edit that a little bit. Because it's like,
that's not the pulling
there's 2 footballers on different teams and they're friends. Like, how'd you go on the weekend with your game? He went, not too bad, but the coach pulled me off at halftime. And the other guy said, geez, you're lucky. My coach just gives us oranges.
I knew I should have played
the
more
language
football.
differences.
Yeah. What I was
I'll
thinking
drink to that.
is that, speaking of motocross, you brought a really good point up before, and it's very left of field, which is where I live. So years and years ago, I did a motocross academy, like a coaching thing with a pro rider. We all paid for the right to go and learn how to ride better. And the one thing that they always taught you was don't look at the rut you don't want to hit. Because if you look at the rut, you'll ride into it, right? So you look beyond the big hole in the track, otherwise you're going straight into it. And it's about focus, right? So what you look at, what you focus on is what you hit. Last couple of years, I've just noticed there's a feeling of a bit of unrest in America across the board, a bit of uncertainty, like the world has sort of all readjusted a bit. And I still see your flag, and I still see the beautiful patriotism and pride in what you do and how you do it. And sometimes people, they look at the rut, not at the really beautiful part of what this country is. And sometimes if you get focused on that, this is wrong and this is wrong with that, and geez, we're going to hell in a handbasket and all that sort of stuff, focus on your flag, because that's still the single most beautiful thing I've ever seen in any country, is the way, no matter what, you stand side by side with your hand on your heart, and that gives me goosebumps every time. The true beauty of this country is in little towns like this. I just love it. Don't look at the rut. Don't look at the bullshit and the crap that everyone's focused on with political stuff. Look at what you love about this country, and we'll all be good.
Well
This
said.
is a paid announcement for Methanol Moonshine. Sorry about that. That's an Aussie. That's an Aussie just bullshitting. But that's what I love about your country. It's what makes me cry when I drive into small town America.
So in Australia, do they do a national anthem at every sporting event?
Yeah, and we play yours.
Really?
So yes.
Because, we do that in North Dakota on the Dakota Tour.
Play the Canadian.
Yeah, because they have the Canadian, and we go into Canada for that. So, and we do it at Super Nationals too, because we have Canadian. We're going to have how many Canadian
We got
drivers
6 or
we have
7
so
right
far?
now. 6 or 7.
Yep. So we play the
quite a few.
Canadian national anthem. We have people ask us, why do you play that here?
It's respect.
Yeah,
Anytime there's an American racing at any event in Australia, we play both the Australian and the...
gotcha.
And we roll cars around on the track with flags up. So we'll have an American, an Australian, or New Zealander with all their flags up during the anthem.
Sure.
That's the thing that, you guys generally have motors off.
Yeah.
I really love that race of states you do with all the flags up. That's just incredibly
All-star.
cool. Whew, that's badass with all those flags.
It's hard to get all that organized too.
I want to get just a golf cart
Have
or
all the
something with an
flags
Aussie
ready.
flag and just tag on the back of that. See if anybody
that's cool.
notices.
Do what?
With an Australian
I want to
flag.
get a golf cart and just have an Aussie flag and tag on the back of that parade lap.
We can make that happen.
See if anybody would notice.
Do you want to do that?
I could take Flo and Mingo with me. I remember
Which
hearing
one?
your
Like
voice, right?
the flamingo?
On that first year I did Super Nationals, and I jumped in the back with one of them in that chair. And I remember hearing your voice go, "Oh, is it date night?"
Flo and Mingo.
Oh, I love it.
And Mingo.
I love so much about this. I love the IMCA. What is IMCA? If I said to you, if some fan said, "What is IMCA, Brett?" What is it?
Like the elevator speech. You want my elevator speech?
Yeah, like you've only got that short time.
Yeah.
My boss used to say to his wife in a crowded elevator, he'd wait till everyone was packed in there, and he would turn to his wife and say, "Were you faithful to me when I was in prison?" And everybody would just look at the ground and look at the numbers.
Uh-oh.
So, yeah, what is IMCA?
International Motor Contest Association. We write the rules, regulations, procedures, points, and a variety of other things for dirt track automobile racing across the United States and Canada. We are truly international.
He wants more.
If you want me to dumb it down,
What is the culture? What is it? Tell me what it is. You have what car racing? What kinds? How do you foster it? What
well,
do you
9
do?
divisions of race cars.
Thank you. Go
From
on.
Sport compacts to,
Yep.
to which are purpose. Well, they're OEM vehicles that you drive on the street, knock the glass out, put a roll cage in, and
Mm-hmm. Yep.
drive them. That's
Yep.
the intent
Grassroots.
originally. Yeah,
Yep.
inexpensive,
They like to
readily
fight.
available. Versus a purpose-built race car, like essentially like a late model or a sprint car, which is a much different animal. So we cover all the bases. Full-size race cars.
In how many states?
It ranges 36, right?
Wow.
36.
36?
36 in
40.
Canada. Oh, see.
40?
It changed.
Holy
40
cow.
states.
Mod lights and Race Saver sprint cars have pushed our state counts up into Indiana, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, and
It's a big
Virginia, and
big
some of those places
footprint.
where we're,
Carolinas and-
yeah, Tennessee, and some places where we haven't been for many years with predominantly mod racing. I mean, people, we have a reputation for being the modified association, because that's what's most popular. It's our biggest class of cars. But, it's by far, we've tried to, I don't know if I would say shake that. We've tried to maybe diversify
on.
that a little bit better and expand it a little bit more into other classes. You know, you look at stock car racing and how popular it's gotten. You look at Race Saver and how popular it is in the sprint car world. There's a lot of excellent racing out there that fits really well into what I consider to be IMCA's mold, our purpose, affordable auto racing.
Affordable auto racing. I like
something
that.
that is the average person can afford. You don't have to be a doctor or a wealthy individual, and you see, we saw it last night. There's at every racetrack. I think Vinton is a good snapshot of pretty much every racetrack in the country. You've got guys that literally, or they're young, their parents might be paying for their race car, and then you have guys that are young and their parents can't afford to pay for their race car, and they do everything they possibly can to try to race. There's lots of people like that in IMCA in all divisions, across all divisions. And then you have successful business owners, and you have car owners, and you have guys that just drive cars for people. And
Yeah.
I mean,
And fast chicks. A lot of great girl races.
3 of the
Quite a
top
few.
4 sport mods at Boone on Saturday night were women.
That's so good. And not only that, but promotable, attractive women, like girls who have a lot to sell in terms of their marketability.
The young gal that won, I talked to Cody a little bit afterwards. I haven't met her, but I think he said she raced 18 or 20 times total
Right. Yeah. She's just 16
in the
years
division.
old.
Wow.
16 years old.
16?
And won a sport mod race in Boone. I've raced a sport mod in Boone. I finished 5th, so I didn't get last. I finished 5th. I guess because I didn't want to get claimed. No, that's my joke of the day. Do I have a rim shot?
You have to be really, really good at caution light strategy in sport mod from what
It
I
was
can
flag. It was flag to flag racing.
see. Wowzers.
But she pulled away from the field and she won it in traffic. So I mean, it wasn't like it was a fluke or anything.
What do you love about it, Rhino?
About what racing?
IMCA?
racing.
Yeah,
I don't know,
yeah.
it's what I've always known. It's what I've always been around. I said even before I worked here, I'd go racing every Saturday, every Sunday.
Dwayne raced,
My stepdad raced. He raced a local pro stock
way.
division for
Yeah.
years, and
so he's kind of
I
got
mean,
it in him.
my mom does the tickets out here. My brother has helped on the racetrack for years. It's
Yeah.
just been a family thing.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Donnie runs a road grader ran a road grader out here for many,
That's
many
cool.
years. Very good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we all have our individual stories. Most of us are attached to racing somehow, through whether through our parents or through spouses or whatever. It's how I met my wife. I've told this story. Her family raced in Waco. So there was a little bit of racing in her blood, and her mom and her dad and her brother. Her brother still goes out to the races.
Huh.
And we all have that story, even on this end of it, even if we're not racing, officials, track operators, track promoters. We're all attached to racing.
For people. If you work in racing, I don't think it's just a job or
No,
a
you're right.
profession. You've got to have a stronger connection to it than just.
Or
Yeah.
why would you do it?
Right.
Correct. Yeah, and this is something that pops up every year, and it's actually a pretty hot topic right now. Just generally speaking, because you have promoters whose kids race, or the promoter themselves race.
Yeah.
And some people don't think that's right. The promoter shouldn't. I'm like, well, geez, if we're going to eliminate everybody that's attached to a race car as an official, or a track operator, or a sponsor, or any of those things, you're going to eliminate probably 95% of the sport. Because they're all attached somehow.
If you do find someone willing to do that work, you're going to find someone with no idea what they're doing, no vested interest. It's a job,
Yeah.
and they're not going to have that passion to make those calls or to have that involvement.
Now, that shot right there, if it doesn't go away real quick, see that shot with the flag waving?
Yeah.
I love that I see that in a lot of tracks. There's a kid, a
Yeah.
little kid there, somewhere in the stands that knows how to mimic exactly that flag waving thing. That's another thing that...
Yeah. That was Jim Standard in that picture.
Was it?
Yeah. Jim
Was he,
Flags
was
on
he
the
the
side.
kid that was waving at
Yes.
waving at the fence?
That's what I meant. There's Jim right down there. No. Jim Flags.
Okay.
That's Jim will literally go to a racetrack, and they'll be like, he's on IMCA's behalf, and they'll be like, oh, man, my flagman didn't show up tonight. We know what we're going to do. And Jim will be like, okay, I'll flag. Up this flag.
So
stand he
Jerry
goes.
does that too, right? J-Van's a pretty handy flagman
Jerry
too,
does
right?
it. Jason Van Sickle, Jerry's brother, was flagging in Boone on Saturday night, and I got out in the infield, and I was like, "Who the hell's flagging?" It looks
He
like
does
Jason
Marshalltown Fridays every
Looks
week.
Jason Van.
Does
like
Emma
Jason
move
Van
out to
Sickle.
California or something?
She moved out to Arizona, Nevada.
Wow.
She moved out west.
You see, flagmen in Australia, they aren't the starter. Like, at Knoxville, Justin Clark is like the guy that, and Doug before him was like, all right, I'm going to call the start. In Australia, the chief steward is up in the tower. He says green, and the flagman waves the flag. He's
Race
not,
director, we would call it.
yeah, the flagman is not making any calls on anything except what he is told to do.
Some tracks are that way here.
Okay.
It really it varies track to track.
It does. Lots of times the flagman will make all the calls, and then you have some tracks where you got cornermen that help the flagman make the calls, and they'll communicate on the radio. And then you have a race director up the top. Boone has a lot of Super Nationals has a race director. The flagmen will make the call. They talk a lot, but generally speaking, Bob Ross did it for many years, and now Grant's doing it. I'm sure you know who Grant is. But
I like it. I like the
So there's
Christmas
a lot
trees
of-
last night too. Christmas trees at the end of the
Christmas tree
racetrack,
farm,
turn 3 and
off
4.
3 and 4. Yeah.
oh,
Jerry's Christmas tree.
Go and cut
farm.
down a Christmas tree if you get
Yeah.
out of the ballpark.
Yeah.
Or go corning.
there's a crick over there.
It's a creek.
Creek.
I knew you were going to
Do you
say that.
do you
It's
wash your car or wash
It's
it? This is an
creek.
important
You agree
question.
it's
It
creek?
is creek.
Oh, I speak
Oh
Australian.
yeah,
now.
it's a creek. What about wash? Do you wash your car or wash
No,
it?
R
wash
and
it.
wash.
Yeah, people
It's
in
still a creek.
Ohio say wash.
People
With
around
an
here
R?
say wash.
W-A-R-S.
Yes,
That's widespread that people say wash.
and people in Pennsylvania, race fans in Pennsylvania are fun. Have you been out to PA much?
I have not.
Hey asshole! You want a beer? I'm like, does he want to fight me or kiss me? Like it's a term of endearment. Hey asshole is a term of endearment in PA. They're brutal out there. Brutal. Do you have a footprint in IMCA in PA?
Race Saver
cars,
Sprint cars, yeah,
Okay.
quite a bit. Got the pass, the Pennsylvania Sprint Series with
Yeah.
Rod Ort, who does a fantastic job. They run it all over Sealings Grove, Williams Grove.
Yep.
There's so
He's
many.
got
There's a lot of groves out there.
30 events.
There
at,
is.
like, a
And
dozen different tracks.
I've been to 2 races in Pennsylvania. One at well, I guess it's just one, Red Line, which is a closed
Okay.
racetrack now, very small racetrack. But I haven't ever been to Williams Grove or any of the facilities that we sanction.
Right. You said
So-
you're going to Port Royal.
have events at
We
Port
we
Royal.
sanction.
What do they get, like 50
Pennsylvania
race
Sprint
savers there? And so, it's just crazy.
The people on Beer Hill in turn
Beer
3,
Hill Run.
they are all up in there. They're packed in there. And they yell out to the people in the infield watching, "Infield sucks!" And the people in the infield call out, "Beer Hill sucks!" And they all go, right? It's passive aggressive, but it's so friendly.
Yeah.
Who would you like to meet, Ryan?
I haven't been giving it any more thought.
I know, that's why I threw it back in
I
there.
have no freaking clue. I don't know.
Come on.
One person?
Jeff
Talking a
Goldblum,
lot.
A little over an hour, so I guess we're done,
getting,
right?
Nate's got us on the clock.
Garth Brooks, Jeff Goldblum.
No,
I don't know.
no. Neither of those.
Nancy Cartwright.
Elon
Bart
Musk.
Simpson?
Yeah.
I don't have any desire to meet Elon Musk.
Do you like Musk?
I don't need to be.
I think you'd be a Musk guy, wouldn't you?
Mark
Scent?
Zuckerberg.
Not really.
Facebook.
Zuckerberg, no.
Did you watch that movie? It's a little bit disturbing, that movie.
I'm not into the famous rich people.
Yeah, neither am I.
You know,
It's just, I just wonder if they're
Yeah, that's like when,
how you obtain a level of success like that.
yeah, when people.
It's fascinating to me.
Similar.
With as hard as it is to be in business, in my opinion,
That's just
any
like when
business.
racers come to town. You get a big touring event or you get big names. I don't care about those people. Like if I hear there's some big touring late model guy that's going to be at a track near me, I don't care. I would rather see the weekly guys. I'd rather see the guys that are the bread and butter. And I'm not just saying that because I work for IMCA, but that's the same with famous people. I don't need to see the people that.
See, I would take that and twist it a little. I would like to interview Kenny Wallace.
Now, he would be cool.
Right, not because he's Kenny Wallace, not because he's Rusty Wallace's brother, who was my favourite NASCAR driver, but because he's just a nutbag, like an absolute whack job, and I love it.
He has a great social media.
He
presence.
does, man.
He markets himself very,
he's
very
killing
well.
it.
he's a good guy.
He did a nice job with Taylor Cool too. Like he got her really, and he brought the phone over to her. And who's that guy with him? The guy calls him something.
He calls him like Jughead or
Yeah,
something
Jughead.
like that.
Yeah. I that's if anyone can arrange that. I do a lot of Facebook Live stuff.
I can. I got his number.
I really want to sit down or Zoom Kenny Wallace
We can do that.
because I think we could have some fun. Nobody might understand either one of us, but
He's a pretty easy guy to get a hold of if he's got your number, if you got his number. He's actually very
approachable.
Yes. I would say very much so.
Every Sunday sits down with his coffee mug and does his little piece to camera.
The
and it's
world
usually-
according to Kenny.
And the best thing about his clips on Facebook, they're like a minute or two long. You don't get lost in it. You don't get bored. You want to sit and you want to watch it. He doesn't go on incessantly like we do for over an hour.
Is it the world according to Garp? By the way, was that Robin Williams or was that Tom Hanks?
I think
it was Robin Williams, wasn't
Robin
it?
Williams.
That was Robin
You're going to make me
Williams,
look
I
this
thought.
up again.
The world according to Garp.
I think that's Robin Williams.
Good Morning Vietnam was pretty amazing.
Yeah. I started saying that at Super Nationals.
You
this year.
did. That's right. You every time you got on in the morning, didn't you?
Well, Todd Van Eaton, he said something about, what's the song CCR sings? I can't even remember. It's called something.
Proud Mary, Fortunate Son.
The
Yeah,
yeah, they are.
It's in one of the best movies of all time. Remember the Titans.
Fortunate Son.
Yeah.
That one. It's the war movie. They do a lot of war songs, right?
Yes.
CCR did a lot of war
You're
songs.
going to run. Remember the Titans. What a movie.
It is Robin Williams. John Lithgow was also.
Oh, Third Rock from the Sun. What a show that was.
Yeah.
How good was that? She was hot too. The girl in Third Rock. The one that was dating the Newman from Seinfeld. He was the cop in it.
Newman.
Yeah. Hello, Newman. His show was very good too. Seinfeld's show, Comedians in Cars Drinking Coffee, is really cool. He just picks up some of his comedy friends in some really radical, different style classic car or something like that, and he goes have coffee with them, and they just talk. And he does one with Michael Richards, who's Kramer.
Oh, yeah. Cosmo.
Because he hasn't done anything in comedy since he had that huge meltdown where he had a big mental breakdown. And Jerry Seinfeld takes him somewhere together, and he talks about it. He says, "Hey, man, and he's like, no, I just have never been back, and I don't know that I will." And Jerry's like, "I really hope you do because it's a beautiful gift." His comic, that, what do they call it? It's not, it's like a physical humor, like a natural.
Not impromptu.
A little bit. And they walk out of the restaurant that they're having, and a family walks by, and they just do a double take because it's like there's Kramer and Seinfeld. And they don't have the audio for it, but they just play this moment where the family asks for a picture with them, and Kramer, Michael Richards, grabs the camera, and he's just doing he just goes straight into character.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. It's such a pure, wow.
Kind of Robin Williams-esque also, the way he kind of behaved as Kramer.
Yeah.
Very animated.
Yeah.
So, Vinton tomorrow, if anyone wants to... When does this go out, by the way? Just in time. 4 till 6 tomorrow. If you come out
I'll be
to
halfway to Texas.
Vinton, hopefully, driving and watching watching Ted Lasso.
Yes, I will.
Maybe let Virginia drive while you watch the show.
Yeah, I will.
Good boy.
I don't know if she'll
Maybe I'll
wanna
watch it on my
Ted
way back
Lasso.
home to Des Moines today.
Sure. It's a great show. I
shots
recommend it.
in.
Ted Lasso is amazing. Amazing. You will love it. No pressure.
Well, we'll wrap it up. We've been talking for a lot. We could talk. I could talk for a long time. Wade, you're so easy
I
to
could
talk
just
to.
listen to Wade talk.
We could
Exactly.
BS.
I do have a question. I think I might have asked you before off camera. So does, like, when I think of Australia, I think of two things.
Ooh. Foster's beer.
Kangaroo.
I don't really like Foster's.
We don't either. It's shit. It's a very well marketed
don't.
product. It's kangaroo piss. We don't like it at all.
It doesn't taste good to me. I'm like,
Kangaroo
ooh, people
yeah,
drink that.
same. It's just great marketing.
Yeah,
Right.
something. I think of two things: kangaroos and alligators, crocodiles, whatever you call them.
Yeah, it wasn't Alligator Dundee, Brett.
Correct. Correct.
It's a
But
very good point.
when I think of, like, okay, I'm going to Australia. Are there alligator crocodiles in all the water?
No.
Like everywhere? Or is it just certain parts? Like the United States, you got to get south down in Louisiana and
Gators.
Florida. I don't think I have it on my phone. We golfed when I was in Florida.
Yeah, they're always on the golf
Oh, you see
courses,
the
aren't
gators
they?
down there?
We had a 7-foot alligator run
boy.
across the fairway right in front of us. I have never in my life seen that. I've
Aren't
seen
they
them in the
harmless
water.
though? Aren't they around people enough? If you
Yeah,
don't
it was
approach
scared
them,
of us.
They don't.
It was scared. It came out of one pond and ran literally right
They
across
say that they can smell fear.
to the next one.
And I'm pretty sure it's just the shit running down the back of my leg. I don't know, there's fear so much.
I
So
think of animals.
I went to Florida. A friend of mine, Jack Hewitt's friend, is called Jay the Gator Man, and he removes nuisance gators from backyards in Tampa. So, like, the city of Tampa will get a call and say, "Hey, there's a gator in my backyard," and he will go out
Catch it live.
and catch it,
Trap
Yep,
it. And
yeah, and then
humanely. And
then he will take it back in his truck and he will it'll go to sleep. But I went with him, and there was, in a really nice residential housing estate, this family had a big water, like massive big sort of pond in their backyard, no fences, and this thing was tracking their little dog, their little silky terrier kind of thing, or the little dachshund, sausage dog, and it was tracking it. So we went with him, and all he does, he uses a little mini box, and it goes, meow, 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 and he makes the sound of a baby alligator, and this thing came out of the water from the other side, and I'm like, whoa, I took a big step back, and it came straight at us. And anyway, in the end, he gets a fishing line, and he just hangs onto the thing, and it wears itself out, and then it comes up in the water, he jumps on it, wraps its nose up, and then has to carry it and put it in his truck. And I said to him, man, have you ever lost one of these out of the truck when you're driving? And he goes, one time I got back to the house and I'm like, oh,
where'd it go?
it's not there. And then the fire brigade, some fire station rang up and said, are you missing a gator? Because it had the nose thing wrapped up. So he just told me this story. We're in the driveway of this place. We've just grabbed Gary Gator and put him in the back. And as we're backing up, he stops and it's like we've run over the curb or something. And there's these two ladies walking down the street behind the truck. And Jaylen's at the window, goes, you see there's a gator back there? And they go, yeah. He goes, do you want to see it up close? And they go, no. And they keep on walking. So Joe goes, it's like, what the hell's that? We jump out, and the gator has jumped out of the back of the F truck and is laying underneath the wheels at the back. So it gets out. So crocodiles, salties are the dangerous ones, saltwater ones. They're the aggressive ones, salties, so in the ocean.
They eat everything.
Yeah. Kangaroos are everywhere on golf courses, just like gators are.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's the nice green grass. And
Do they have boxing gloves on?
no, but they are their back legs are the ones that can disembowel you. Did you see that video clip of that guy that had to punch on with one because he took on his dog?
Yep.
So they got very sharp claws in their lower legs.
Yeah, they've used their tail
and
as
they're
their...
massively strong in their back. So if you hit one, even laying on the ground, like on the road, if you hit one with the car, it'll just wreck your car because they're extremely strong through their tail and through their back.
Have you ever hit a kangaroo?
Oh, God, many times. You didn't see the picture of the little one that I...
No.
So I ran one. A kangaroo jumped out in front of me a couple of years back. And
Well, that's sad.
It hit the hood. It's sad because they wreck your car. We call it the bonnet. Went through up the windscreen
bonnet.
and over the roof. So that's what we call the hood. And the boot, we call the trunk the boot. And so this roo went over like that. It was at midnight. And I was like, oh, great.
Wiped out
And
the
I
bonnet.
look onto the bonnet and there is a little piece of kangaroo on the hood of my car. I was like, great. I look closer and it's the Joey. The Joey had come out of the pouch.
I don't know this.
So I need to give you the picture, Nate, so we can put it on the screen, right? Because I
No.
have the picture of it.
We're not putting that on the screen.
No, it wasn't dead. It was alive.
Oh, did you save it?
Yeah. There's a good story to this,
Okay.
right?
Well, I thought I was going to end
So I
badly.
wrapped him up in my hoodie, and I put him in the passenger seat, and I drove him back to my son's house, and he's looking at me like what happened? I'm like, oh my God, I think I just killed your mum. And I drove him back to our house, and my co-parent, my ex-wife, and my kids, they had a pillowcase, and it would just tumble into the pillowcase, and you'd hook it up on the door handle, and he would just sleep in there, and you'd feed him with a bottle. We had him for like 3 months. He was literally, I have a picture of him next to my Moonshine bottle. He's the same height as my Moonshine bottle. After about 2 months, we took him back to a sanctuary and let them reintroduce him into the wild. So I wasn't going to put a dead kangaroo on a picture on the podcast just for ratings. Would it rate?
We don't have viewers anyway.
Would it rate?
Yeah.
Not at this point in the show.
Ratings.
Nobody stayed to the end.
There are other. I see stuff on Facebook of other animals like big snakes and big bugs. Is that common down there?
Well, no. It's like me saying about tarantulas. There are tarantulas everywhere because I watched the Brady Bunch that time when they got that tiki they picked up that was bad luck.
Yeah.
So, yes, there are
I think you've
snakes.
watched every show and every movie in the history of the world.
And he
ever.
remembers them all.
American TV and movies are very big in Australia. Our culture is, that's where we grew up with that kind of TV, But yes, there's dangerous stuff in Australia, but it's no different to America. Yes, there's brown snakes and, things like that can... Do you remember that story about the 2 guys that went camping in Australia and a guy went, just the 2 guys that went behind a tree to have a leak? Snake come out of nowhere and just went like, right on his Johnson. And the guy just freaked out. And he rang back to the camp, said to his friend, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? A brown snake just bit me on the Johnson, Says, I don't know. We'll ring the doctor. So his mate rings the doctor and goes, mate, my friend has just been bitten by a brown snake. Like, what do I do? And the guy said, you got 3 minutes.
Oh,
the
no.
only thing you can do is suck the poison out. He goes, right. And he hangs up the phone. His friend goes, what do you do? What do you do? He goes, what did he say? What did he say? He said, you're going to die.
You're going to die. I knew that was coming.
And on that note,
Is that going to wrap us up?
good night, John Boy.
That
Yeah.
might be a good note to go out on.
And again, so in Vinton, when this airs today, 4 to 6?
Yes.
4 to 6
Yes, at Dollar Fresh Market,
here in town.
where the big drone will fly past.
Are you signing autographs? You get T-shirts or anything?
Nah, no merch, but we give you free samples of the Moonshine with Sprite or 7-Up or...
So bring a DD,
yes,
designated
Oh,
driver.
great.
or Double D, yes. And if you ask for the squirt, you get a special smile.
Well, we're looking forward to having
Don't you
Wade.
yawn.
I'm just at a loss for words.
Who do you want to meet, Ryan? Before we go, you got to
I
say
don't
someone.
know. I
Good
don't
Lord.
know.
You've
who
had
I wanna
plenty of
meet.
time.
Come on,
I haven't
man.
been giving it any thought, though.
Come on, mate. On the spot.
I can't think of anybody.
Nobody.
Nobody.
You don't meet nobody.
I don't want to meet anybody.
That's boring.
Well, I'm boring.
Wow.
No, you're not.
I don't have
The show's
anybody.
really
You're actually
reaching
not
it.
boring, Ryan. You're
But I
actually kind of
am.
fun.
Hey, I got to tell you, mate, I tell everybody about you and Jerry back home. It is one of the most fantastic duos that I've ever worked with in any
Appreciate that.
form. It's so good, mate.
We need to get Jerry and Ryan to Australia. How's that?
Well, Jerry actually did he tell you? He did a cameo for me in a TV
but
show
he's-
in Australia.
He stayed here, though, right?
Yes. Well, that's the
We
way.
get him
didn't-
over there.
they
That's
didn't want him
different than
either.
That's
the
the
real
way I
thing.
prefer to do it. He did a great job. People love that whole bump to the rump thing and the right side romance, and they were just like, "Oh, that guy sounds so good."
You should go over there and be Wade's special guest if somebody would have you as Wade's special guest.
I've been telling you need to come down there.
I wouldn't
Virginia
mind.
doesn't want the long plane ride, right?
Yeah, she doesn't like
You
airplanes.
say 26 hours it took you?
Well, but that's transiting. That's into San Francisco,
yeah,
then
you
to
gotta
Dallas with
layover
the
and Blah blah blah.
It's 14 hours from LA to Sydney, dude. 2 Advil PMs and 3 bourbon.
And woo! I'm in LA.
See, I'm a bowling
in
fan, so
Sydney.
I follow Jason Belmonte and his travels to and from Australia when
There
he
you
competes
go.
in the
So
States.
that would
and
be your
that's
guy you
just-
wanna meet.
No, I have no desire to meet Belmo.
What about the guy from Kingpin?
Oh,
Who's that? Is that
I don't
Woody
know.
Harrelson? Was he in King?
no, was it
He
Randy
was one of-
Quaid? Randy
Randy
Quaid.
Quaid.
Oh,
Cousin
Shitter's
Eddie.
Full. Shitter.
Cousin Eddie.
When you mentioned
That's the
before,
one movie I can quote that I remember. The Shitter's Full.
what? What about Old Mate in the Waterboy?
Oh shoot.
We done?
Yeah, Nate's going.
Is that it? Yeah.
He stopped
Nate's-
recording.
Nate's
He stopped
sleeping.
recording half an hour ago.
Nate's
Actually,
He doesn't put a camera on himself because when he falls asleep, he doesn't want anybody to know. That's our sign that we're taking too long.
there's your sign. Can we dress up the infield this year? Can we make like a lounge or something like that in the
Yeah,
infield?
what are we gonna call it?
Yeah, we need to call something. I want to make a little housewarming thing, Ryan, where people can bring a new thing each time I can put on the table or in the lounge room or near the couch or something like that, right?
Wade's Margarita.
Like one of those basses, those basses that sort of, and they sing on the wall and stuff and things like that, like an inflatable palm tree.
American
The Outback.
The Outback.
The Outback.
Wow, Nate.
Wow, Nate woke up just in time.
The Outback. Okay. Let's do it.
All right.
Is that what we're going to call it? Where's it going to be down there?
I don't know.
Just-
We'll figure out something.
Near the tech trailer, if it's there.
By the tech trailer.
Yeah.
Under a tent.
Because that's where the phone box is that Denver calls in from, right? So that phone box needs to be out there somewhere, right?
Nigel. And
Yes. Is there a beauty contest this year at the Super Nationals?
I have no idea.
I haven't heard anything about really any.
Not in charge of that
extra
department.
events.
Oh.
You don't want me to be in charge of that department.
No. But you were judging that once, as I remember.
I was.
What?
I can
He had to
appreciate.
pause.
I can appreciate that.
It's a little like having Ozzy Osbourne at a classical symphony concert. There's the thing. There's the flag thing.
There it is.
So get me a car I can drive with an Aussie flag in it, just for like.
Car or a golf cart.
Well, can I just roll a car around maybe? Like it'd be a bit
Pretty
cool,
soon
wouldn't
you're
it?
just going to want us to put you in the event. If this keeps
The three of
growing-
us really
keeps
should
growing
race, I
like-
think. Yeah.
No,
No.
I'm not racing.
All right.
All righty.
See you later.
Yes.
That's
Again,
it. Huh?
Thank you.
I'm going to
Gotta
sit
wrap
in
it
your
up.
office and do some work,
Yeah,
Rhino.
go ahead.
We got stuff to do.
No,
I gotta get a haircut.
I've got to sober up, so
I'm gonna
Ryan's
burn
got
some
to take a
incense.
nap.
I got to take a nap. But yeah, that's it for today. Then there's a lot of IMCA racing this weekend. I know. What's the replay pass, Nate? $24.95, $24.99. Yep. Salute the Veterans Tour.
I love
Plus
that.
the Dale DeFrance Memorial.
Oh,
There's a lot of stuff
There's
going on.
all sorts of stuff going on. Check it out at imca.tv, and we will be back for episode 11, assuming Jerry and Jim will be back.
Wade will be around. Maybe we can get him to come back.
Maybe we can lobby.
When are you doing it?
I don't know.
We don't know. We don't plan these. Obviously, last night, don't you
Not that
realize
organized.
we don't plan that far
When you
ahead.
said this is episode 10, I thought it's an episode.
It is. It was a perfect 10. All right, we will see you on an IMCA track very soon. Until then, take care.